I traveled to New York to sit down with Kyle, the founder of a SharkTank brand called Swoveralls. Swoveralls is the combination between sweatpants and overalls. In this interview, this NYU professor talks about the importance of his school towards his business, and he breaks down his tips and tricks on how he was able to get to Shark Tank. All right, so here we are with Kyle. Like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the founder of Swoveralls.
To get started, can you share a little bit about what Swoveralls is about?
Swoveralls is a direct-to-consumer lifestyle brand, and Swoveralls are the glorious combination of sweatpants and overalls into one incredibly comfy concept.
The first idea from the moment that you said, I want to do this, until the moment that you finally had the product in your hands. How was that journey?
A friend of mine sent me an article, a BuzzFeed article, about a pair of overalls that looked like regular denim overalls, but they were made from a sweatpant material. And discovered that between 500 and 1,000 people a month were Googling sweatpant overalls.
Interesting.
And so that's when it went from being a personal problem to a business opportunity. And I thought, I will make sweatpant overalls. At this time, the term Swoveralls did not exist in the world. I hadn't thought of it. And I'm gonna sell them on FBA. 8 months went by where I was negotiating with the supplier to get a sample. I got the sample. They were incredible. We went back and forth a couple times doing some tweaks. Launched on Amazon in July of 2017. Sold our first pair a couple weeks later, just organic SEO. Wasn't doing a lot of paid marketing.
Wow.
But then I quickly discovered that Amazon doesn't like to share a lot of customer information, and they also don't allow you to have a lot of control over the company or the customer experience.
Right.
And so very shortly after that, we launched on Shopify. Just been grinding every day since.
Wow. How were you funding that?
So to fund the first order, this is not something that I would ever recommend. Don't worry, I didn't like rob a bank or anything. But I was at business school and I took out student loans to pay for business school. The first semester I took out too many classes and I dropped a couple of classes, and what I didn't realize happened is that they would disperse that tuition money back into my personal checking account. And when that happened, instead of holding on to that money until the next semester, I ended up sending that money, wiring it to my supplier in China, someone who I barely spoke with, just through emails, and it was a crazy thing to do. But I guess to be an entrepreneur, you gotta be a little crazy. You
gotta take risk.
You gotta take risk, yeah. So that was how we funded the first order. And then after that, we were bootstrapping, taking profits, putting them back into future orders. At the beginning, you got to do everything.
Unscalable, pretty much, right?
Yeah. And you want to do things that don't scale. You want to do things that create traction, but I think getting caught up in the how, or getting caught up in delegating or creating process or creating things for scale can really trip, I think, founders up, and you got to be super scrappy. One of the ways that I'm able to be scrappy every day, and I'm very lucky in this regard, is that I genuinely love wearing Swoveralls. I wear them every day, and so it's free marketing. I think it goes a long way when I show up on vendor calls or in person and I'm wearing them. People know me as I'm always wearing them, and so it doesn't matter. I'm very lucky in that regard. Like, even if you created a yoga pant company, it's hard to tell like if those are yours. Swoveralls are polarizing in the best way, and so that's been something that continues to pay dividends.
All right, so here we are at NYU. So Kyle, I'd like to ask you, what is the linkage between this school and the company Swoveralls?
The ties between NYU and Swoveralls run deep. I started the business when I was sitting in the back of a classroom in business school.
You were on the show, Shark Tank. And so tell us about your experience a bit. And one thing that I'd love for you to share with the audience is, if you had to reverse engineer the process of getting into the show one more time, what are the 3 main things that you will do to increase your chances of doing that?
Yeah, Shark Tank was an incredible experience and I have no regrets. It was also incredibly stressful. One of the recommendations I have for experiencing success within your business is really doing everything you can to expand your network. To expand your network within whatever industry or market that you want to be successful in. There's 3 ways that you can get on Shark Tank. 1 is you audition in person. 2 is you apply online. Or 3, like a lot of things in life, you know someone who knows someone.
I would love to know, you sounded, and you said this several times, but there was a lot of effort and time in order to prep for that moment. Was it worth it?
Yes, yes, it was worth it. I think being on Shark Tank is the gift that keeps on giving because it continues to re-air. There's credibility behind being on Shark Tank. You're a part of this community. So it was worth it. But if anyone's watching this and you want to go on Shark Tank and you're not exactly sure how to get there, maybe you don't even have a product yet, the best thing that I could advise is for you to try and work for a Shark Tank brand. Work for a Shark Tank brand, get close to those people, develop a relationship. If you have an idea, now you're gonna know people who know people. And so whether it's getting on Shark Tank or it's doing something else, putting yourself in that environment is the best thing that you can do.
Amazing. Let's talk about your secret sauce. So after Shark Tank, obviously it's a huge way to get traffic to your site. It's a huge opportunity and leverage for marketing overall and sales. I think you have done something exceptional and you have been able to leverage platforms like TikTok and any short form like Reels and even YouTube Shorts to really drive traffic to you at a very low cost, which allow you to maintain the business and grow it. What have you done in that space? What do you think most people don't know when it comes down to marketing that has worked for you, and what does it take?
I think I was able to parlay kind of conditioning that type of experience early on in my life. I loved making home movies. I wanted to be a director when I was young, and so I got good at video editing. And then in high school, I was a part of the yearbook class where I learned how to use Adobe Photoshop. And so I think to date, I've probably saved, between $200,000 and $500,000 on agency fees, creative fees, because I know how to do all of that.
Yep.
I'm comfortable in front of the camera. I'm able to edit. I mean, it's great to have partners like you who can really compound the amount of creativity that we're able to make as a brand. But that was a cheat code for me, I think, was being able to create content. It's really almost three things. It's being creative and having the skill sets to do that. It's being analytical, and then it's also being interpersonal. And I think maybe that's the most important thing.
If you check on TikTok, for example, Swoveralls account, you have been able to accomplish several videos that have multiple million views. Obviously, that has a huge effect. Some of the Shark Tank brands, and I'm not, maybe this is the same case with you, but they have made more money from getting viral videos on TikTok than actually being on the show because of the impact that it has and the amount of eyeballs that you're getting through the platform. What does it take to go viral?
Yeah, I think going viral on TikTok at the beginning takes luck. And I would define luck as timing and being prepared. And the timing is something that is really difficult for us to control. But being prepared is having a plan of what you want to post, being consistent, being ruthless with testing different things, and not getting down if things are not working. I recommend.
So you said consistency, luck, some analytics, and also being okay with, sounds like it has to be a good portion of it is like seeking for the rejection or the failure in a way. You want to find out what doesn't work as quickly as you can, because eventually in that process you'll find what does work. Tell us about your routine.
For me, I know that I am at my best from a cognitive standpoint very early in the day. So I get up at 5 every day and I'm working between 5:30 and 10 a.m. on things that require a little bit more of my brain, doing some strategy, sometimes writing
Deep work.
Personal life from an athletic standpoint. I love to push the intersection of what is challenging yet doable. Having really, really hard goals is something that makes me a better business person. I think it's something that makes me a better partner to my wife. I hope to inspire my children by being vulnerable and really trying hard from an athletic standpoint.
What are you expecting the company to be making this year in revenue?
This year, I think we'll probably do, close to $2 million, which is really exciting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being a part of the ride.
Of course. Do you believe you could do what you do right now as efficiently by cutting all those out?
It's an interesting question that sometimes I ask myself, could we be doing closer to $10 million this year if I were putting more time into the business? What I do know is that whatever time you give yourself to do a certain project, you're typically going to use all of that time to get it done. It's called Parkinson's Law. It's interesting, which is why deadlines are so effective.
A common pattern that I've seen with all Shark Tank entrepreneurs that I've talked to in the past, they are obsessed with the product. Like, they truly love it. Do you think someone can be as invested when they don't love the product?
It's really hard. If you don't love it and times get tough, which they will inevitably do, it's really difficult to continue answering the question, why?
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I usually like to ask, the book that has had the most impact on you as an entrepreneur?
The book that I like to refer is Get Backed.
And then podcast or any other resources?
Setting the Table.
Setting the Table. You're the second person that tells me that, actually.
I think Let My People Go Surfing by Yvonne Chouinard from Patagonia is really inspiring.
Alrighty, man. Well, Kyle, this has been fantastic. I hope you guys have had as much fun and learnings as I have. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.